going? Good, good, good. Absolutely fantastic. It is brilliant to have you here. If you can at the moment, I'm just going to mute you all while I do my introduction, okay? So don't get offended. It's just so that we have no background noise while everyone is coming. First of all, guys, if you haven't seen me before, I am Abby McKenna, also known as Abundant Abby. I am your ultimate life change strategist, the founder of the Abundant Life Movement, and the mindset maven for the sexy brand building formula. I help women just like yourselves to unleash their self-worth, grow a set of horns to create the life that they truly deserve, and to call bullshit on the way life just is. Okay, I'm a very loving person. I am a very kind person. I've been out the side emotionally anchoring. I am geared up tonight to take you through some mindset changes that you probably haven't had before. I'm going to give you guys the opportunity tonight to see yourselves differently, to see your life differently, the way that you're currently living, and make you realize that those thoughts that you have when you're sitting at home late at night with the wine, you know, those what ifs, those if onlys. My job is to help women to grow a set of horns, and I give them the skills and strategies to make those what ifs come true. I was that person that used to sit there and think, what if? I was that person that used to sit there and think, if only. I was that person that used to go, when the time's right, I will. I don't do that anymore. I don't do that anymore. And I have made it my mission to show other women, other mums, and I do have private men that I coach. But there's a reason that we do that privately, because they've got a whole different outlook on life, to make sure that they do not have the same wake-up call that I did. Or if they have had that same wake-up call, to make sure that they don't stay relentlessly stuck in it. I help them to grow a set of horns, to build their self-worth beyond anywhere that they ever imagined that it would be, to create the life that I know that they damn well deserve. Now, it's fantastic to have you all on here. A number of you I know, a number of you are new. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much. We're all over the world at the moment. I can see Canada. I can see Perth just down the road. I can see, I'm just going to put it on speaker view at the moment. Can everyone see me, or can they see Lisa? That's all right. So just up the top, guys, there is an option for you to put it on gallery view or speaker view. I do have a presentation for you tonight, okay? But I do want to thank you all for getting up at all hours of the morning. I can see America, I can see Canada, I can see Hagues, I can see Bali, I can see Mauritius, I can see just down the road from me. Okay, this is absolutely fantastic. Now, a number of you guys are currently working with me. Thank you so much. That provides so much validation that what I do works. I'm very confident about what I do, and my ladies know when I'm about to give out a ton of value. So they know when not to miss me. So the fact that they are showing up speaks for words. Now, to prove what I can do and to show you where I've come from, rather than just speak to you, I would like if I can show you a little video that shows you my story from start to finish, from where I was, the point that I was at in my life, that point of explosion of being so desperately unhappy, to getting to where I am now, to helping women to realize and create the life of their freaking dreams. So with your permission, I would like to do that right now. It's going to take about 3 minutes of your time, and then we're going to get straight into it. Can you guys see a video on my screen? Can I just get some nods if I can see that? Excellent. All right, I'm going to play that for you now. Hi, I'm Abby McKenna, founder of the Abundant Life Movement. I help people unlock their self-worth and discover the life that they were born to live. Just a few short years ago, I wasn't happy, and I definitely wasn't healthy. I was stuck in the mundane day-to-day that was my life. I gave out my own happiness to serve everyone around me, and I relied on other people's words and perceptions of me to make me happy. I was drowning, absolutely drowning in my relentless effort and desperation to juggle my work, home and family life, stuck in a relationship that was toxic and didn't serve me any longer, and waking up every day so sick and tired of working so hard to create a life that I was going to enjoy later, but the stress of that was going to leave me too tired and sick to enjoy that life when that day finally came. And I'd accepted that as normal. I would go to work. I'd drop my kids off at childcare,
go to work, pick them up again, and then pray that they would go to bed early so that I could get more work done. Feeling guilty about having to choose my work over my children, I was wrecked. My partner and I, we merely existed in the same house. What we had wasn't there anymore. We weren't even friends. I tried to talk to him about it, but when I did, I was unheard and criticised. My relationship was broken. I was shattered, tired, and stressed. But most of all, I was grieving the loss over who I once was. I'd left my dreams at the back door, forgot about the true me, and I hated who I'd become. And then I looked at my beautiful baby girls, and I thought about the life that I wanted them to live. And I thought about all the women before me that had worked so tirelessly, trying to serve everyone else and forget about themselves. I'd realised that I'd fallen into the same sad story. If I didn't make a change, then my girls were going to follow that same broken fairy tale. Sick of being tired, sick of being walked over, sick of pushing my baby girls aside, and sick of being miserable, I decided to stand up and make a change and be treated the way I deserved. But most importantly, I made a decision to be happy. It was through this experience that I designed the Abundant Life Movement, where I help busy mums and dads take control of their health, mindset, and business and create the life that they deserve. I believe that everyone has the right to be happy, everyone has the right to be healthy, and we all have the power to make change in our lives. To override our devil of doubt, our fear and limiting beliefs, and go after what it is that we truly deserve and what we want in our lives. And I invite you to do the same. I look forward to helping you to rediscover who it is you truly are, to go out what you truly want in life, and join me in the True Self program. Welcome to the Abundant Life Movement.
Pretty powerful, huh? Did anybody relate to that? Excellent. Guys, we're going to jump straight into it. So that is my story from start to finish. I wear that story as my truth. I don't hide that story. The reason that I don't hide that story, one, I'm so proud of it because those trials and tribulations got me to where I am now to allow me to do what I do with women all across the world. Okay, and I believe that there is power and truth and strength in vulnerability. I believe that we've been taught throughout our lives to not rock the boat, to not speak out, to not talk about our dreams, and just to fit in, to stand in the shadows and not be seen. You have got one life. I'm going to be really honest. This webinar is going to be quite confronting for a lot of you, okay? And I'm going to take you through a system that my ladies usually have to spend thousands of dollars to get access to this. I am all full of value. So make sure that you have your pens and your paper ready because this masterclass isn't going to be like anything that you've gone into before. I'm not going to talk at you, okay? I'm going to actually take you through tried and true strategies that I went through to get me into the space to be able to go from that Abby that was living just the way it was to the Abby that's living my true self, my plan A, to the Abby that wakes up every morning and is enthusiastic and full of energy and excited about life. I can't wait to do that for you guys now. Now, just a little bit of housekeeping. On the side here, down the bottom, there is a chat box. Please, please use it. You will have chances to get your marks ready. There's a number of my ladies here that already know me and they know my rules. Ladies, go for gold. Get your stories down there. This is your turn to shine as well. I've got a rule with my ladies that there's no such thing as it being rude to outshine other people. So get your stories down there. Get your thoughts down there. I've got Jody. Okay, Jody came to me. She was a mama of about 1 million kids. Beautiful lady. She was timid. She had this real Jody stuck inside of her. And this was four months ago that Jody first came to me. Okay, she allowed herself to be intimidated by other people. She second-guessed everything she said, everything she thought. She'd sit there at nighttime and think about her true self and what she truly wanted, and she would just as quickly dumb that down because she made herself believe with the little things that I'm going to show you today that that wasn't possible. Jody now has jumped on board with me, has completely changed her mindset, has grown a set of horns, and Jody is about to launch a movement, a global movement to change the way that people perceive people living with epilepsy. Now, from the Jody that I knew 4 months ago to the Jody that's come out of the shadows that wants to change the world, this is epic. All right, this is what I plan to do. This is my mission. All right, and I get a bit of a kick out of doing this too, just so you know. So we're going to have some fun with that. So a little bit of housekeeping before we start. I'm just going to bring up my presentation now. I need to stop share that. Don't mind me. I need to get out of this, and I need to get into this, and then I need to go to this. Here we are. Now, guys, also, if you can, thanks, Darwin. Darwin is in Mauritius, and tonight I will be giving out a few links for you, okay? I'll be giving out a link to my tribe. I will be giving out a link to my Calendly for you guys to book in with me. Now, I usually charge $497 for an hour of my time. The fact that you guys have said to yourselves and said to me, I want to change my life, shows me that you are ready to move. And you will learn throughout this that I value action and I value movement. So a little bit different to other webinars. When that is posted out, Darwin's going to post it at the start and a few times as I tell here. If you are touched by this, I'm going to show you how your brain works. If you go, Abby, I want to work with you, I am absolutely ready. I don't want you to wait around. Okay, of course, wait around in the webinar. But what I'm saying is I want you to click that Calendly and I want you to make an appointment to talk to me. You've got absolutely nothing to lose. Our brain works in funny ways and they get us to stop taking action, which is one of the reasons why you guys are stuck. Okay, so I want you to override your brain and act on that when you get that feeling. Now, so thank you to Starwin for agreeing to do that with me, because if you guys don't know, I'm not very technological, so I've got Starwin backing me up to do that. All right, here we go. My presentation. So guys, welcome. When it comes up, can you see my presentation there? The ultimate life changer. Thank yourselves, congratulate yourselves. I made it very clear in the startup and the lead up to this masterclass that I wanted to have women in here that were ready to move, that were ready to take action, that were sick of the old ways and were ready to stop making excuses and were ready to do something for themselves. Whether they knew what that was or not was irrelevant. It was the fact that there was something inside of you saying, I just need to do this. Now, the fact that you guys have taken action is huge and is very powerful, and I'm going to reward you to that. So welcome to the ultimate life changer. During this webinar, during this masterclass, I'm going to show you how to stop dabbling and start living. I want you guys to make an absolute commitment and promise to yourself that today ends the time for all excuses. I know your worth. I know your value, all right? Even if you don't realize that at the moment, I'm going to hold on to that during this masterclass for you, and I'm going to carry you through. Now, a little bit of housekeeping while we go through this webinar, all right? And this is very, very important. These are my rules for the Ultimate Life-Changing Masterclass. These are my rules that I get my ladies to come with during every coaching session, every masterclass, everything. And I'm going to tell you what these rules are and why they're so powerful. The first rule is to be honest. To be honest with yourself, to be honest with what you put down, to be honest with what you say to everyone else. You can only change when you accept your faults. You can only change when you are honest with yourself in saying, I'm not happy currently with the direction that my life is taking. You see, we've learned over the years to lie to ourselves, to pretend to be happy, to wear a fake smile. My job, my mission is to get you guys wearing a smile that's no longer fake. One that you get up and you just intrinsically smile because you know how much you're worth. Where you don't look for validation from other people because you already know how great you are. Okay, so throughout this, I need you guys to be honest. Be completely vulnerable, be completely raw. Number two, I want you to prepare yourself to be rocked. You're going to undertake some strategies and some activities tonight, and I'm going to bring some things forward that you probably haven't allowed to bring forward for yourself. This is vital because it's not until we recognize these things that we can make movement and we can drive forward and we can pull ourselves out of this automated life that we are in at the moment. I promise you, I will not leave you in that state. I don't believe in that. I've seen lots of people do that, and I don't believe in bringing forward people's challenges and limiting beliefs and then leaving them like a bloody rabbit in a spotlight with nowhere to move. My mission tonight is to get you creating movement. Number three, I want you to back yourself and to trust me. I want you to back yourself and to trust me. I promise to give you my all tonight. I promise to give you my absolute truth. I promise to get you moving. In order for me to be able to do that, you need to back yourself. You need to, number 4, play all cards in. Go full out tonight, okay? When you are going through the activities, when you open up your mic, I want you to play all cards in. There's 2 reasons for this. I want to create the ultimate shift with you. And in order for me to be able to do that, you need to play all cards in. Okay, the other reason is that it is very, very powerful for the other women that have joined this webinar, not just yourself, but this group of amazing women that have said, no more, I want something different. If you play all in, there is an energy that you will enable to uphold within this group that allows other people to get the most out of this as well. Okay, so I want you to gear up and play all in, because with me, guys, there is 0 judgment and there is 0 consequences. Anything that you say, anything that you do, anything that you talk about, anything that you write, any realizations that you have, there is 0 judgment and there is 0 consequences. Throughout this webinar, now you guys have got a little bit of a cheat sheet here, because you've got a mic. When I say play all out and back yourself, if you want to cry, if you want to yell, if you want to laugh, go ahead and do that, because there is 0 judgment and 0 consequences with me. I value people's honesty. I value your true self. So be your true self. Let's get into it. Now, I told you I was going to tell you the 3 things that you need to stop doing right now to stop sabotaging your life's path. This is going to be pretty hard hitting for a number of people. I could come up with a number of them. I've already said one more, which is lying to yourself, not being honest, lying that you're happy, lying that you're happy about the direction that your life's taking. All right, lying to your partner that that's okay, we don't need to do that right now. We can keep sitting in this space because I'll be okay with that. Okay, the other 3 things that you need to stop doing right now to stop sabotaging your life's path is waiting. Stop waiting. You need to stop being so scared and so lost. And you need to stop making excuses. You see, we wait around, don't we? We wait around for lots of things. We wait around for permission from others and permission from ourselves. We wait around for it to be the right time. I promise you that the right time is never going to be the right time. My rule, one of my hints that I'm going to give you tonight, and I know I've spoken about it a lot later, is stop waiting and start creating. I told you that I was going to be really honest and quite hard-hitting. No one is going to hand you the promotion. No one is going to give you permission to dream. No one else is going to give you permission to create the life that you want. If you are in the habit of waiting, and I guarantee that you are going to come back to this masterclass 10 years later and still be waiting for the right time. Still be waiting for the right amount of money. Still be waiting to have the right friends, that right partner. Still be waiting for them to treat you properly. Stop waiting, start creating. Create boundaries. Create expectations for yourself. Ordinary people do extraordinary things every single day. Jody, that lady that I was talking to you about, she's about to level up because she wants to take her legacy to the world. Right? We all think that something's going to happen, that we're going to wake up one day, the skies are going to change, and the world's going to open up, and there's going to be our dream life. We have to create it. And you guys are powerful enough to do that when you start taking responsibility, when you stop waiting and start creating. Jody, the other day, I had to give her a bit of a kick in the ass because she was trying to get some money ready to be able to do a course to take her legacy to the world. It was going to take her 6 weeks. I got in there and I blew a wet bit of wind. I said, Jody, what's one of my number 1 rules? Stop waiting, start creating. We then championed her challenges. We started being really creative and finding ways for her to get around her challenges. That 6 weeks is now turned into this Monday. And she can start living her legacy now. There is power in creation. You are a creator. Okay, we need to get out of these old habits of waiting for all our little ducks to line up. We need to go out and get our little ducks and line them up ourselves. Okay, the next thing. You need to stop being scared and lost. Now, guys, know that I'm going to take you through some activities tonight to stop you from doing these things. I promised you that I would do that. But in order for me to get the strength and power from you that I need you guys to understand these things, to bring them forward and to feel them. You're scared and lost, aren't you? You're scared that you're going to fail. You're scared of the perceptions of other people. Some of you guys, I know because I've been talking to you, you don't even know who you are anymore. You've left your dreams at the back door. All those things that you wanted to do when you were a teenager, when you were in your 20s, you've convinced yourself that you can't do them, and you're so lost because you've been running on autopilot. You're living out your rules and obligations, and you think that that's just enough. You think that that's just the way life is now. You do what you have to do to be a mum. You do what you have to do to be an employee. You do what you have to do to be a friend. What do you do for yourself? Where is your self-worth? We think that it's normal to wake up every day and pretend to be happy. We think that it's normal to wake up every day and not be enthusiastic and have the ultimate drive because we're living our one life the way that we should be, the way that we decide to design it. Okay, so you have to make a commitment to overcome being so scared of perceptions of failure. You have to make a commitment to either find yourself or create yourself. Some of you guys know what you want, but you're too scared to create it. Some of you guys are so lost that you don't even know what you want. And you know what? It is you that is in the most powerful position at the moment, because you can create whatever you want from here on in. And that third thing that you need to stop doing is that you need to stop making excuses. We make excuses, don't we? We make excuses to validate why things are just the way they are. We make excuses to validate why we're scared. We make excuses to validate why we're lost. We make excuses to validate why we're waiting for things to happen for us rather than creating. We point the finger outward because that's safe, isn't it? That's safe. When we don't have to do anything about it and it's everyone else's problem, or when the world is so stressful and is throwing all these challenges at us, when it's got us in amongst this storm, it's not so scary because we're in our safe spot. Because you don't have to take risks. It's not about taking risks, it's about managing risks. Okay, we make excuses about time, about money. I don't have the support. I don't have the resources. I don't have the knowledge. My kids aren't old enough. My kids are too old. I'm stuck in a small town. If you start implementing the things that I'm going to show you tonight, these excuses will no longer be a problem. See, what happens is your brain goes out and validates whatever situation you're putting it in. So if you are walking out into this big wide world and you are scared and you believe that you're going to fail, you are going to look for reasons and things that are happening around you to provide yourself with evidence and validate that you are going to fail. If you tell yourself that you don't have the time or you don't have the money, you're going to look at all of the things that are around you and you are going to use them as evidence to validate that you don't have the time and that you don't have the money. If you change your mindset, if you learn how to champion your challenges, if you grow a set of horns and you start actually realizing how valuable you are, if you have a kick-ass self-esteem and a kick-ass self-worth like my ladies do, they don't validate excuses with these things. They see them for what they are. They see them for opportunities for learning and growth. As I said, ordinary people do extraordinary things every single day. People like myself, the other people that you look at on the internet and you go, I wish I had a life like them. I'll tell you a little secret. They weren't born with super sperm, right? There's nothing special about them or about us. We weren't born with super sperm. We stopped waiting. We started creating. We made a decision to no longer be scared and lost, okay? And we decided to change our mindset so that we would no longer validate what was happening to us, so that we had excuses to not live or create the life that we deserve. I'll tell you what we did, and here's another little nugget. We didn't settle. We made a choice not to settle. Here's a fourth thing. I told you I was going to give value, guys. 3 things that you're doing to sabotage your life. I've now given you 5. Throw in lying to yourself. You're settling, aren't you? You're settling for average, an average life, an average paycheck, an average partner. You're settling for mediocre. You're settling doing things that just keep you getting by rather than doing things that excite you every day, rather than doing things that get you pumped. As I said, ladies, you've got one life. Please, for God's sake, don't get to the end of it like my Nana did and like so many other women that I've spoken to have and start saying, I wish that I did more than lived normal. You think that this is normal, that it's just the way that life is. You settle for second best. You settle for second best because you're too scared to go out and create the best for yourself. You settle for bad treatment from others, don't you? I know you all do. Whether that's a partner, whether that's a friend, whether that's bad treatment from yourself, you don't look after yourself mentally, physically. You don't go and do the things that you want because you're so stuck in that 2-week trap, paycheck to paycheck, and you're so focused on that you have made yourself believe that there is nothing outside of that existence. With a change of mindset, I guarantee you, ladies, that there is. Okay, and the reason that I'm going through these things is because I need to bring them forward, because I need to have 100% commitment from you that you are going to stop doing these things today. That you are going to make a change like so many women, hundreds of women that I have worked with and realized that they could. Right, you settle for something that you don't want. You don't go out after that dream job because you're scared you'll get rejection, so you settle for the job that you're in. You don't go out and build the life of your dreams because you're scared of failing or you're scared of what your friends will say. So you settle for second best. You settle for something you don't really want. And then you convince yourself that it is what you want so that you feel better about it. You settle for a life that you're not truly happy with. You settle for a life that you're not truly happy with. Are you guys hearing me? Is this touching a nerve? Excellent. I often say if I make one person cry and one person cheer a day, I'm doing my job. Okay. Guys, if this is you, if you're having thoughts, feelings, experiences, start writing them. This is about you. Go all in. Get the most out of this. There is power in numbers. Ladies, if you start writing your thoughts and experiences in that chat box, you will start making connections between the other ladies and you'll realize that you're not alone in this. You'll realize that you have similarities to all the other women here. And you'll realize that as a group, you guys have the power to no longer settle, no longer wait, no longer make excuses, no longer be scared and lost, and to start creating the life that you absolutely deserve. If at any time you want to open your mics and yell and scream or cry, you may do that. Okay. So I want you to ask yourself honestly, there's that rule. Stop lying to ourselves. Is this you? If it is, I want you to type, yes, this is me, in the chat box. Why? And a lot of you won't be able to answer that because you've got so used to this cycle. You've got so used to these instinctive, fear-driven habits that you won't even at the moment be able to identify why you're doing this because you have created this as a habit that has become normal. My next question. Are you ready to change this? If you are ready to change this, I want you to put, yes, I am, or yes, I bloody am, or yes, if you're Lisa, yes, I fucking am. She's a swearer like me. Zero judgment, zero consequence. Are you ready? Because you do have a choice, ladies, and I'm going to talk to you about your choices later on. If there is one nugget, if there is one thing that you take away from this masterclass, I want it to be that you realize that you have a choice and that you hold the pen. So why are you settling for less? Why are you settling for less? I'm just going to bring up some of these chats. No, I'm not. It's not going to let me. Yes, yes. Melissa says yes. Maz says yes. Anita, yes. Jody, ready. Let's fly. Yes, Jody. There is meaning in that let's fly. I will let Jody talk to you about that. Bring on the storm, says Lisa. Yes, it's for me. Not anymore. Just find the chat box, Lisa. You're hilarious. How's yes? Yeah, all right. We are ready to go. Absolutely fantastic. Let's cruise, ladies. Let's cruise. So here is my hard truth number one. I'm going to be bringing up a number of hard truths for you guys. Make sure you write them down. I'm also going to ask you to repeat them. So what I want you to do now is I am going to open up your mics if it will allow me. If it will allow me, I'm going to open up your mics because I want you to repeat them. There is a psychology as to why I'm doing that. So trust me, okay? Trust me. It's not going to let me open up your mic, so you're going to have to do it yourself. Here is the hard truth number one, and even if your mic is not open, say it to yourself. Who is responsible? This is the question. Who is responsible for your life, the direction your life is taking now, and the direction that you choose for your life to take from now on? Who holds the power to change all of this? Are you ready?
Me.
Yeah.
Me.
I do. Fantastic. Thank you, Jody, for getting that started. You are a superstar and I love you. You do. See, if you outwardly blame, if you keep making those excuses, if you fall back into those habits that you've always been doing, it's really easy to blame someone else, isn't it? It's really easy to fall back and say, well, I don't have the support from my partner. It's not the right time. I don't have the money. Guess what? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Extraordinary things happen to people all the time. You need to create it. You need to make a decision. You need to make a choice, and you need to start taking action. So many of us don't act. The Dalai Lama says, when you think everything is someone else's fault, you will suffer a lot. And a lot of us are on such an automated live stream that we actually won't even realize our suffering. We won't be honest about our suffering until we get to the end of it. And we look back and we start to wish that things had been different. Do not be that person. I don't know about you guys, but I made a decision. I made a choice that day in Tennant Creek when I woke up that my headstone would not read, I wish I had have waited around longer. I wish I had have continued being scared. I wish I had have continued to make excuses. I'm happy with this. No way. Okay, it's time to live. Take back your power. Waiting for it to happen, making excuses, deems you powerless. And here's my other little truth. Waiting, making excuses, lying to yourself, settling, it isn't the way life just is. And it isn't the way that life has to be. Okay? I remember sitting in Tennant Creek the day that I chose to make a change. The day that I chose. Okay? And I was much like you guys, because I know that you guys have been on a whole stream, on a whole roller coaster. You might have been coming to my lives, and something inside of you just tells you, doesn't it? Something inside of you has built up to the point that you clicked on this masterclass link and you came here. Something inside of you was saying, I want something different. I want something more. I want something better. Guess what? That's something more, that's something better. That's the way that life's meant to be. Okay, I've proven it. I remember sitting in Tennant Creek that day before making this decision and I was going to explode. I actually turned around and I said to my partner, if I don't do this, if we don't change, if we don't take control of our lives and start pushing it in the direction that we need it to go, if I keep living my plan B and settling rather than creating my plan A and living, I'm going to break. I'm going to die. Now, I didn't mean physically, okay, but that is exactly the way that it feels, and it does feel like that some days. I get it because I've been there. So it's time for action, ladies. So starts the masterclass. I want you to remember those rules. Get your pen and paper ready. I'm going to take you on a journey that you haven't probably allowed yourself to go on yet. This is the first day of the new direction of your life, if you choose to let it be. Now, I know some of you are sitting there nervous because you don't know what's going to come out. I know that some of you are sitting there excited, and that's absolutely fantastic. I also know that some of you are sitting there probably really pissed off at me at the moment and rejecting. That is also absolutely fine. That is something that you have learned to do because that is a safety net. That is a safety barrier. If you don't have to change, if you don't have to listen, if you don't have to confront whatever it is that needs to change, whatever it is that you need to do, then you don't extend your comfort zone. And that's a very safe place. My job is to push you outside of your comfort zone because that's where the growth is. Okay? And so it starts. Who's ready again? In your own words. Yes, Lisa. Good girl. Open up your mics. All right, guys, I want your mics open now. I want you to be involved. This is all about you. Back yourself. Play in. full honesty. If you're having trouble with your mic, let me know. I'm sure the ladies will guide you what you need to do with your mic. Starwin is here, Jody is here. Guys, if you can please answer the questions for you that come through, I don't see them because I am pumped and ready to go. Remember this one? When you think everyone else is someone else's fault, you will suffer a lot. This is about you. It's time to take responsibility. It's time to take control of your pen and start scripting your own life. All right, there is someone there that I'm going to mute. I'm not sure who that is. In the background.
Not me.
Sorry, Jody. Thank you, my dear. Thank you so much. Now the final rule, and that's what I just said. Take responsibility for you. Take responsibility for this moment. You have the opportunity right now, and I'm going to touch on this later, to choose if you want to, for this masterclass to be at the most exciting moment of your life. You have the choice right now, if you want to choose it, for this moment, this masterclass to be the biggest step of growth in the direction that you want to take it, if you choose for it to be. So take responsibility and claim your ultimate life-changing power. All right, I'm pumped. I'm pumped. All right, here we go. I'm a crier too, and when I'm pumped, I cry. So if I get all teary, just bear with me. My first question, if you guys got that pre-work, I know there was an issue with ClickFunnels. The fellas were at the Funnel Hacker Live, good on them. So there was a bit of a glitch in the system. If you didn't, it's okay. We're going to go through it again now. Get your pen and paper ready, and I want you to share. In the chat box or on your mic, be very honest. Are you truly happy and excited about your life's direction?
No.
No.
Yes.
Excellent.
No.
There was a lot of no's there. Fantastic. Rule number 1, be honest. There was a number of yeses. Was one of them Jody?
You muted her mic.
I did mute her mic.
I'm muted.
Jody is one of my clients. Jody, 4 months ago, were you happy with your life's direction?
Oh my God, no. I was so miserable and stuck and frustrated that I was stuck because I knew I didn't want to be there. I knew that my life's purpose wasn't to be there, but I didn't know how to be anywhere else.
What changed in you? They all know you've been working with me. What changed?
What changed? I don't know. It was just so gradual that I can't really pinpoint it. I had so many breakthrough moments that it was just all like everything was just shedding off of me. Like all my walls and everything, well, of course we worked through limiting beliefs. All my limiting beliefs disappeared, my fears disappeared. So it wasn't really just the one moment. It's just been like a whole lot of moments, and like I've even had moments today of just new stuff and new realizations, and it's just been cool.
Excellent, thank you. And thank you for sharing. Guys, what I want you to do right now is to brain dump. I'm going to give you just a couple of seconds. I want you to brain dump, and when I mean that, I do not want you to resist. Remember that playing all out and backing yourself? I want you to put down on your piece of paper now, I'm going to give you 10 seconds. What do you want to change? What in your life do you want to change? Put the first thing that comes into your mind. Do not resist. Back yourself. We have a habit of thinking and then thinking that that thing is wrong, or that thing makes us a bad person, or that that thing is too confronting, so I'm not going to bring it up. Put it down on your bit of paper and then share it. As you're doing that, I'm going to talk to you about this. This is why we do that. This is why we dumb down those thoughts. This is why our little devil of doubt pops up every time we have this. What if I do this? My life could look like this. I want something more. It's because you are so stuck in being your obligatory self rather than your true self. You are so stuck in your roles, okay? And this is a step, this is the first thing that I went through, one of the first things that I went through to create my massive change. I looked at me, which is the little white circle down here. Now, guys, I want you to draw this, I want you to take this away with you, and I want you to do this and be really, really honest with yourself. There is a number of things here that I'm going to give to you that I want you to use for yourself. Share them with your partner, share them with your children. My ultimate goal tonight is to get you shifting. So God, make the most out of everything that you get. So the you at the moment down the bottom, the not true you, the little you, the person that's settling, that's running on autopilot, that's lying to themselves about who they are and what they really want. Who is that person? Are you stuck? Are you unhappy? Are you miserable? Are you tired? Are you scared? Be very, very honest. In the next thing, and as I said, we've only got 90 minutes, 120 minutes, so take this away with you. What are your have-tos, your obligations, your plan B? And I guarantee you in there, unless you've been working with me or unless you are someone that has stood in their own power and they're taking their legacy to the world like the beautiful Kathy, you will put your roles. You will put your obligations. You will put everyone else first. All the things that you have to fulfill. In the next one, I want you to put your want-tos. Now, this is interesting because your want-tos are different to your true dreams and your desires. Your want-tos are the things that you let yourself think about because you want to do them and you know yourself that it is possible. Your dreams and desires are those things that you want to do, but you don't allow yourself to immerse in them because you don't feel like you have the power to get there. You don't feel like those things are achievable. I'm here to tell you that you are, and it's not until you give yourself the time and the respect and the value to put them down on paper, to capture and control them beyond when you're having your wine late at night, then whizzing in one ear and whizzing out of the other, because you all of a sudden start thinking about the bills and the kids and the committees and the everything else. You capture and you can control them. You've then got them, and I'm going to show you ways that you can utilize your mindset to make them happen. I'm going to show you ways that when you think about your dreams and desires, that you don't feel sick, that you don't wonder and you don't wish. You actually start creating action, and you just damn well know that you've got the self-worth and the value and everything inside of you that you need to make that happen. Imagine that life. Imagine waking up every day like that. I do. Kathy does. Jody does. Yeah. Imagine that. Imagine waking up. Yes, Kathy. Imagine waking up every day and not thinking what's the worst that can happen, but think what's the best that can happen. Not what's the worst that can happen, what's the best that can happen. Okay, here we go. Question 2. I asked you in the pre-work, if you got that, fantastic. If you didn't, we're going to do it now. Now, this is going to be very, very, very confronting. Very, very, very confronting for some of you. Fantastic. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to get you to make a commitment, and I'm going to get you to a point of realization where the one thing that has held you back your entire life, your one biggest fear, your one biggest excuse, your one biggest limiting belief will no longer stop you from creating that person that you deserve to be, from living your ultimate dreams and desires. Okay, so I want you to put down on a bit of paper, what is the one thing that is holding you back? What is the one limiting belief? What is the one fear? What is the one excuse that has held you back and stopped you from being happy, stopped you from being successful, that has kept you stuck? What is the one thing that you have allowed to keep yourself stuck? I'm going to give you a couple of seconds to do that. Put it in the middle of your paper. We're going to go through a little bit of an activity at the moment. This is exciting. Okay, this is exciting. I'm just going to bring back the Zoom because I want to catch up on some of these chats while you guys are doing that. If it will let me. And it won't. I'm going to have to stop share for a bit. Okay. My fear of not being good enough. My fear of success. Lisa says everything. Fantastic, Lisa. Thank you for going all in. Put them down and share them. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Fear of rejection. Fear of failure. Thank you, Marilyn. There's people popping up from all around the world here. This is fantastic. Thank you for holding this space. Thank you for playing all in. It allows you to grow. It allows everyone else to grow as well. All right. I guarantee you all of these things from Jan, bloody confidence. Mum, so those of you that don't know Jan, That is my mum. I'm going to talk about my mum a little bit. A lot of what we do tonight is going to be very, very confronting to my mum. So please, if you can hold this space for her as well. The rejection of not being good enough. Fantastic. I guarantee.
Mum.
Scared of failure, emotions, myself. Excellent. Rejection. Okay. What I'm seeing here is something that I work with every day, and that is emotional intelligence, emotional mastery. This is the ability to not act on knee-jerk reactions when you feel scared, when you feel fear, because that's what we do, right? A challenge comes our way and we fear. We get nervous, we get angst, we get whatever it is, and we act on that emotion. All right? Emotional intelligence is about being able to capture and control your emotions. Put them down on a bit of paper. This is what I help people to do. All right? Evaluate, and rather than have a knee-jerk reaction, because when we have a knee-jerk reaction to an emotion, it's illogical, it's irrational, it doesn't get us the best long-term outcomes. We can actually evaluate that thing, calm, control, and confidence, and we can start to create action to get the best long-term outcome when that challenge comes up. And I guarantee you guys, I'm going to share my screen again, that one thing, that one fear, that one limiting belief, now I know that I'm going to get a bit of a smile out of Kathy here. Okay, more often than not, will come down to the fear of not being good enough or the fear of not belonging. We just went through that with Calvin Coils. Thank you so much, Kathy. Okay, my mum wrote, yep, absolutely. Fear of rejection. If you knew that you were good enough, if you woke up every day with the self-worth and the self-esteem of just an absolute knowing that you were good enough, the fear of rejection wouldn't be there. When it comes to confidence and emotions, if you every day woke up knowing that you were good enough to work on your emotional intelligence, on your self-worth, to overcome your limiting beliefs, not only overcome them, but use them as a tool to drive you forward to take action, the lack of confidence wouldn't be there. Okay, if you felt like you belonged, and this is something that I work on very, very intensely with my groups, that you belong to the right people, that you have found your right tribe, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit later on, that fear of belonging wouldn't be there. And if you knew that you were good enough to shift yourself from the people that you are allowing to keep you negative and keep you stuck, that fear of belonging wouldn't be there. Okay, so as we move on, I want to talk to you about what is a limiting belief, those things that you have just written down now. And some of you might have written down a whole heap of things, or you've got a whole heap of things flying around in your head. Okay, I'm not good enough, my emotions, my kids are too young, all of these excuses that we make, guess what? They're limiting beliefs. What is a limiting belief? It's just that. It's a belief that limits us from succeeding. It's a belief that limits us from being happy. It's a belief that limits us from living and creating the life that we sit at home and think about late at night over that wine. Okay, and I'm going to tell you where it comes from. Now, please, guys, I need to say this because my mum, and she's on my screen at the moment, I'm probably going to get really, really emotional. My mum, this is going to be really confronting for my mum, and I've got so much gratitude that she is here, just like the rest of you ladies. She deserves so much for her life. Just like the rest of you guys, she's putting up and accepting second best treatment from other people all around her. Okay, just like you guys are. And she's made a decision to be here because she wants something more from herself. She knows that this is going to be confronting because I often talk about where my limiting beliefs come from, right? And I'll tell you where they come from. They come from your mothers and your fathers. They come from your community. They come from your culture. They come from your schools. If you've got children, think about your children. They're a blank slate, aren't they? Children weren't born with these limiting beliefs. You didn't hold your baby and that baby was thinking, oh my God, am I going to be good enough in this life? Am I going to add up? They're blank slates. They were born with two fears. The fear of falling, that's why the nurses do that. It's terrifying as a new mum. Okay, and the fear of loud noises, that's why they piss us off every time we turn on the vacuum cleaner. Those two fears are a good thing because it means that their gut instinct, their primal instinct is working properly. But they are blank slates. They don't grow up with these fears. We give them these fears. They learn these fears from other people. They learn these fears from observing other people having those fears, those limiting beliefs. They borrow them from their parents, from their community. Okay, they borrow them from their teachers when their teachers ask them to put down what's their biggest dream, and they put down a racing car driver or an astronaut. And then, so that's a lovely dream, but is that safe? That probably won't happen. Let's look at something a little bit more realistic. Someone just needs to mute themselves out. I'm not sure who it is. When their teachers go, that's a lovely dream, but is that safe? Let's look at the cons. Let's look at everything that can go wrong. Rather than saying that is exceptional, and you know what, you've got everything that you need inside of you to get there, and you will get there, and challenges will come. But if you get up more than anyone else gets up, then you are going to win at that. You will achieve that. Okay, if you were brought up with a mum that was body conscious and had limiting beliefs about how beautiful she was, you probably struggled with that your whole life. I was brought up with a beautiful mum that was good enough but had the limiting belief that she was not good enough. My beautiful mum, Jan, I grew up with a mum that is so damn good enough but had the limiting belief that she had borrowed from her mum and from the structures within her small town that she was not good enough. Okay, I borrowed that from her. And she's carried that now into her early 50s and she's deciding to make a change now. Here is the next thing. Here's hard truth number 2. You borrow your limiting beliefs, you observe them, and then you validate them with your experience and what you look for. Anything you've learned, you can unlearn. Anything you've borrowed, you can give back. Your limiting beliefs do not belong to you. They are something that you have learned and that you have borrowed. They are something that you have taken on, that you have observed and that you have internalized because you've seen other people doing it. You've seen it on the TV. You've watched your parents doing it, your friends do it. You've surrounded yourself with people that allow their limiting beliefs to get in the way of them. So you have undertaken that same behavior. I will show you, if you choose to work with me, how you actually take those limiting beliefs and you flip them and you use them as a tool to drive you forward. You use them as a tool to drive you forward. Okay, so what I want you to do now, guys, and this is going to be quite confronting, I'm going to look at the chat comments and I'm going to have a look at that. I want you, with that limiting belief in front of you, that lack of confidence, that fear of failure. It may be a fear of success, whatever you're feeling there. Sorry, there's just rustling of paper. Can I just get everyone to mute themselves for a second, because this is really detrimental. Thank you. I want you to put that in front of you in the middle of your paper, and then I want you to do exactly what I did that day that I decided that just the way it was bullshit. That just the way it was no more. I want you to put that limiting belief in front of you, and I want you to brainstorm what acting and allowing that one limiting belief to hinder your life, to keep you stuck, has cost you. What has it cost you? It's probably cost you opportunities. You have opportunities come at you every single day, but if you fear failure, if you think that you're not good enough, if you feel that you don't belong, one, you won't even look for opportunities, you won't allow yourself to see them, and you will say no. You have missed out on opportunities every single day because you have allowed this limiting belief to hinder you. I guarantee you that this limiting belief has stopped you from creating the life of your dreams, because you've allowed this limiting belief to make you feel fear, to make you feel scared. And what do we do when we're not in control of our emotions, when we don't understand our brain, when we don't see the possibilities? We knee-jerk reaction, we say no. We fall back into our old habits, waiting, making excuses. I didn't start that business because I didn't have the time. We feel fear and then we find something to validate it. I'm not creating the life of my dreams because my kids are too young. We feel fear and then we validate it. It's probably cost you financial freedom because you've settled for second best. You've settled for a job that allows you to get by paycheck to paycheck. It's probably cost you time with loved ones and your kids. I know it cost me time being present with my kids. I had a feeling, I had a limiting belief that I wasn't good enough, and I used to run around trying to serve everyone else and making everyone else feel happy so that I could be perceived as that kind and loving person. That I gave up time with my kids to spend time, extra time at work to prove that I was the best at what I did. I gave up time with my kids to be around people that weren't even nice to me, because when they gave me a compliment, it validated that feeling within me that I was kind and loving and worthy, because I needed it to be externally validated rather than it coming intrinsically. That doesn't happen anymore. It's probably cost you your happiness, cost you a sense of calm and balance. What has it cost you? I'm going to give you guys about 30 seconds while I go back through these chats. Don't mind me, I get quite emotional because I know how powerful this next bit's going to be. It's cost you all of those things. It's cost you 30 years of happiness and freedom. Beautiful, Kathy. I want you to hang on to that. This is why, are you guys feeling the same? Are you seeing the similarities between the other women here? It's cost me all of these things. It's cost me all of these things. It's cost me all of these things. It's cost me 30 years of happiness and freedom. All of these. Fantastic. All right. Here's where the shift starts. Here's where it happens. Are you ready? Are you freaking ready? All right. I love this bit. I want you right now to take that thing and all of those things in front of you, and I want you to feel them. There is a purpose to this. I'm going to bring you out of this. Okay, I promise to bring you out of this. I need you to feel this so that you commit that that thing will not get in your way anymore. You are not that person anymore. Okay, that person that you think you were, that was fearing success, that was fearing failure, that felt that you were not good enough, that's actually not you. You borrowed that. Wherever you borrowed it from or you learned it from, whether it was your mum, your dad, your school, something that someone said to you, I want you to look at those things now, and I'm going to give you a couple of seconds. I want you to really feel those things. If you want to cry, cry. If you want to yell, yell. I want you to feel that it's cost you the 30 years of happiness. I want you to feel that it's cost you the opportunity of creating the life that you want, a financial freedom of time with your loved ones. Okay. All of those things, Kathy knocked it on the head. It's cost me 30 years of happiness. Do you know how many women I have come to me and said, oh my God, I've made such big mistakes by running off that limiting fear, by letting that limiting fear control me? It's cost me 20, 30, 40 years of happiness. I've spent 2, 3, 4 decades of running around after other people, serving them rather than concentrating on myself, my family, what's important to me. I'm going to tell you something. I don't use the word failures or mistakes, right? There is no such thing as failure or mistakes. If you come to me and you tell me I've failed, if you come to me and tell me I've made a mistake, do you know what I'll say to you? Good. Good. You haven't failed. You haven't made a mistake. Let's flip your mind. You know what you have had? 30 years of learning, Kathy. 30 years of growth. These 30 years of doing those things, of living by this limiting belief, of giving up your power, has got you to where you are today. It's got you to this moment of clicking on this webinar of this masterclass and saying, I'm ready to make a change. You have everything within you that you need to be great, to be powerful, to be successful, to be happy, to be calm, to be on that beach in Mauritius next to Darwin if you want. You are one step up on everyone that hasn't made that mistake or failure. Mistakes and failures are not that. They are opportunities for learning and growth. No longer do you look back and go, I've wasted 30 years. You know what you do? You look back and you go, that has gotten me to where I am today. I'm one up on everyone else that hasn't done that. I'm bigger, I'm smarter, I play stronger, I play better. If you've failed in business, good. Because guess what? You won't fail again because you've learnt from it. You've got the tools to know how not to do that again. If you've spent your life running around after other people, fantastic. Because today you're not going to do that anymore. Because you can take that moment and you can look back on it and you can learn on it and you can remember what it was like and decide not to do that anymore. So what I want you to do now is I want you to look back at those things and I want you to have absolute gratitude for those things. I want you to have absolute gratitude for those things. All of those things had to happen to get you to this point now. To get you to this point of deciding, I'm going to do this now. Me now and my ultimate life, that's in my sights. That's where I'm going. If I don't have gratitude for these things, if these things didn't happen for me, this would never happen. If you guys had have come to this masterclass 10 years ago, you wouldn't be ready. All of these things are like stepping stones. All right, they're the lessons you're learning. They're the nutrients you're providing yourself with to get to this point, to give you strength, to give you power, to give you what you need, the tools, the resources, the learning, the growth, the ability to make a choice, to go, this is my ultimate life and this is where I'm going to go. I'm going to make me better. I'm going to make my life better. You know what? Excuse my language. I'm going to be fucking unapologetic about that because I deserve it. And if anyone tells you that you're not, just tell them Abby said I could. Okay? Yeah, exactly. Or if people start to tell you that you're crazy because you start living unapologetically happy, exactly, Kathy. You know what you say to them? I'm not crazy. I've just woken up. I've just seen that the way things just are not the way that things actually just are. Yeah? Okay. I'm going to get back to sharing my screen. Here we go. I'm going to take you through something else now. In a second. I'm looking at the time. Hi, Star.
No, I said, I think Jodie has a question. She's raising her hand.
Fantastic. Jodie, open up, babe.
Can I just add something to that about being grateful for all your life experiences? I never got that. Every time you said that, Abby, was like, no, that freaking stinks, that life. I hated like most of it. Why am I going to be grateful for it? So, and it wasn't until last week, the week before, when I actually found my truth and really thought, oh my God, my whole life journey has actually come right back around to my epilepsy, like actually facing it. And like I was terrified when I was a little kid of having it and what other people are going to think of me. And then I've done this whole big journey and I've got back to, oh my God, I can actually, what if I was given epilepsy because I'm the one who's meant to change the whole world, right? So now I totally get how to be grateful for my whole life. And that was a really exciting moment for me, which I hadn't shared with you yet. But yeah, so like I totally get how to be grateful for every single second that's happened in my life now because I've found my truth.
It's powerful, isn't it?
Yeah, so powerful. So yeah.
When you realize that every bad thing you've ever said to anyone, any bad thing that anyone's ever said to you, any bad decision, any challenge or trial or tribulation that's come your way, any championship that's come your way, any success that's come your way, we need to be grateful for because it's got you to this moment. You would not be making this decision right now if these things didn't happen. This is your moment if you choose to make it your moment. Thank you so much, Jodie.
Can I jump into Abs?
Sure, Kathy.
Because I felt exactly the same way as Jodie for years. You guys only Star and Abby actually know me, but I've had hair loss since I was 9 years old, and I hated myself. I hated myself my whole life. And to come to terms with that and then to be grateful about it was such a huge thing for me, which is part of what took me so fucking long. But girls, I am living proof that it can be done. Because if you can love a bald, shiny head and put a big ass tattoo on it and go, fuck what you think, anybody can do it, all right?
And Kathy's gone one step further. She is now taking that truth. She's taking these learnings. She's taking everything that has happened to her in her life, and she is creating a legacy for other people that are living with baldness or alopecia to love themselves, to defy norms. And this is the power that you get to when you decide to change your mindset, when you decide to no longer live by those limiting beliefs. Absolutely, Kathy. Thank you so much. Thank you. So ladies, hearing Jody and hearing Kathy and looking at those things, thinking about the life that you truly want, and I'm going to give you guys permission to dream about that in a minute, because we often don't give ourselves permission to dream about what our ultimate life would look like. How committed are you to changing this right now and dissolving the whole concept of fear? From 1 to 10 in the chat box. How committed are you looking at those things and everything that has cost you? The fear of failing, the fear of success, the fear of not being good enough, the fear of the perceptions of others. How committed are you to changing this and dissolving fear right now? Because I'm going to take you through that if I can get a commitment from you. Jody says 10. Fantastic. It's mandatory at this point in my life. Yes, Marilyn, because Marilyn is also one of my clients, okay? And she is in this process as well. Yes, Marilyn. Yes, Jackie. Yes, Tamara. Yes, Linda. Yes, freaking yes. Okay. Jody knows what I just did then. Okay. I want you to think about fear, right? I want you to think about everything you're scared of. Fear of judgment. Fear of what other people say to you. Fear of the perceptions of others about, yes, Mom, 11. Fuck yes. 100, yes. Now we're having competitions. This is brilliant. This is brilliant. Okay, ladies, I'm going to do it for you within an instant. I'm actually going to show you how silly the concept of fear is. All right, and if you can hold this space for absolutely everyone. What does fear feel like? First of all, I want you to think about what fear feels like. All right, and then I'm going to ask you a question. Is fear real? It's not. It's not. The feeling of fear is real. The emotion is real. Fear, and this is something that we work on about relabeling, restructuring, okay, rescripting, reframing. The emotion is real. The feeling is real. But fear itself is not real. Fear itself is not validated. Fear is just a label that we put on something that we are feeling within our bodies. Fear is a label that we put on something when a challenge comes our way, or we think that something might be a little bit scary. We feel something, we label it with fear, and all of a sudden that's validated, and we don't have to change our action. We don't have to change our direction. We don't have to take any movement because it's scary. Right? Your primal brain kicks in. It's very primal. It's very instinctual. It goes, I know that feeling. You label it with fear, and your primal brain goes fight or flight. And it doesn't matter what it is, you will fall back instinctively to your old behaviors because your brain is wired as such to make you fall back into your old behaviors, to keep you in your comfort zone, to keep you in that same existence you've already been in within 5 seconds. I'm going to talk about that later on as well. Fear is just a label that we put on something. Now, is danger real? Absolutely. If you're on the front line fighting a battle, danger's real. Danger's very real. I know Kathy knows what I'm talking about at the moment. This is a really fantastic analogy that I've borrowed from Calvin Coyle. It was so powerful, my mentor. Danger's very real. Okay, and fear in that situation is very validated. Okay, fear gives you all the physical instincts that you need to survive within that moment. That's fear. Okay? Where do you feel fear? What does fear feel like? What happens in your guts? What happens in your head? What happens in your hands? What happens to your heart? I want you to think about that. And thinking about how dangerous that front line is and the feeling of fear is saying to someone like your partner or your friend, I'm making changes in my life and I'm changing my direction. Is that scary? Is that dangerous? Will you lose your life? Could you potentially lose your life, like the dangerous situation of being in the front line where you feel fear? Where you feel scared? Is going out and deciding to no longer accept this unhappy existence for yourself and changing your mindset? Can you now validate that as fear? Is that dangerous? Are you going to lose your life? Going out and setting a boundary with someone that's been treating you badly for a whole heap of years, that you still go around and see that person. And you still go around and give them your energy, even though that is unserving to you, and you choose not to set boundaries because it's fear, it's scary. Is that fear? Is that dangerous? Could you lose your life? No. We use these labels to stop ourselves instinctively so quickly because it's what we've learnt to do. We can actually label that with whatever the hell we want to, right? And I'm going to tell you why. Someone says it feels like a lot like excitement. Yes, Kathy. Kathy has learnt. See, we don't even use fear in my course anymore, or scary. When we talk about championing your fear, we talk about championing your challenges, right? And this is why. So if you decide to say to someone, I'm changing the direction of my life, right? I need to set boundaries in this relationship. I'm going to create my legacy. Whatever decision it is that you're making, whatever challenge you are facing, I don't have the money. It's not dangerous. You're not going to lose your life, okay? It's not scary. Hold up just a second. Stop the knee-jerk reaction. Your life is not threatened. There is no more need to be irrational and go, this thing is going to change my life. I really want to do it, but it's going to cost me money and that's really, really scary, so now I'm not going to do it. You're not going to lose your life, number one, okay? Stop running from it, and I can help you get around these challenges. And you get all knotted when you feel fear, don't you? Your heart starts racing. Your hands get all clammy, yeah? Have any of you, thank you, Kathy, ever been excited before? Have any of you ever felt excited? What does excitement feel like? What happens in your guts? It gets a bit knotted, doesn't it? What happens in your heart? Your heart starts racing. Your hands get a little bit clammy. Every time you're faced with a challenge, every time you feel one of these excuses about to pop out of your mouth, okay? I don't have the time. I don't have the money. My kids aren't old enough. I can't set boundaries because I'm worried about the consequences. I'm more worried about that person that's actually being a shit person to me than I am about my own feelings. What? Number one, what? Okay. Hold that. Hold that feeling. And before you go, that's scary, that's fear, you know what you do? You say out loud, you capture, you control, and you go, what is this? I feel fear. Why do I feel fear? I feel fear because I really want to do this thing because I know that this is going to change my life and I want this and I instinctively want this so bad. But then I saw the money figure. Okay. Then I saw the dollar sign. Right. Capture, control. What am I feeling? I'm excited. You know what your brain's going to do? It's going to go, oh, my tummy's nodding. Oh, my heart's racing. Oh, my hands are clammy. Validated. Yes, I am. Yes, I am excited. And then all of a sudden, this thing is not scary. Your life isn't about to end. It's about to start. Because all of a sudden, it just becomes a challenge that you've controlled, that you can make good long-term decisions rather than letting that emotion control and drive you. You control and drive your actions in order to overcome, go around, go over, go under, do whatever you need to do to get through that challenge to create the life that you want. If something comes to your life that is going to better you, that you know that is going to better your existence, stop acting out of fear. Capture that, Do not make a knee-jerk reaction. Breathe, reshift yourself, capture, control, write on a bit of paper. I feel scared. Then evaluate it. Ask yourself why. Why? Because I really want to do this and I know that I can't. Because it's going to cost this much money and my husband's going to do this. Because right, I'm excited. I really need to tell that friend that I won't accept that behavior from her anymore. Mum? I really need to tell that these are my boundaries that I'm setting for myself. Because ladies, we settle for second best. We settle for making decisions for ourselves that are going to change our lives all the time. And if you are a mum, you need to listen even more carefully. I'm going to get really emotional right now. If you are a mum, this is even more vital, and I'm going to tell you why towards the end of this little presentation and this activity. Okay, but we settle for second all the time because we have fear. That person's treating me bad. I really want to tell them that that's not acceptable and this is what I expect for myself. Fear, you don't even stop it. You don't even evaluate it. You don't even think about it. You just knee-jerk, illogical, irrational action off that fear. My life would be better if I did that. I've got self-worth. I don't deserve to be treated that. Stop, don't act about it. I'm excited. I'm going to be a bigger, stronger, better person after this. See, people with a kick-ass self-worth, they don't worry when it comes to setting boundaries. They don't think about the consequences. They don't think about it being too hard. They don't think it being worth the hassle. They just know what they're damn well worth and they won't accept anything less. It's time that you guys stop accepting less than what you are worth. And a lot of the reason that you accept less than what you're worth is because you're knee-jerking off of fear. There's no such thing as fear unless you're in the front line, ladies. Applying for that job isn't going to end your life. Setting boundaries with that friend isn't going to end your life. Joining that course that's going to ultimately change your life isn't going to end your life. It's going to freaking ignite it, start it, change it, and you can start living it finally. Taking your truth and your message out to the world isn't going to end your life, but it will change the lives of others. Stop acting off of instinct and conditioning. Yes, thank you, Kathy. I watched my mum do this for 5 decades. Well, 3 decades. She's 5, you know. Enough is enough. Let's start getting excited. And the other little trick that you can do that we also learned from Calvin Coils, if someone is frustrating you, if you got that one person in your life that does stuff and it's just so frustrating, don't they? They just piss you off. It's so frustrating. I can't believe she said that. Oh my God, Jordan, I was just around at Jenny's house and I told her that I'd been on this mindset course with Abby and that I've learnt this. And she said to me, that's all bullshit. That's just the way life just is. Get your head out of the clouds. That's so frustrating. No, it's not. Guess what it is? Let's reframe it. Fear to excitement, frustrating to intriguing. Isn't that intriguing that Jenny thought that? Isn't that intriguing that Jenny just said that about me? Do you see how you can shift your emotional state in an instant with just a choice? And it is a choice. Okay. And with that, we get on to the next thing. How are you guys finding this? If you're getting value out of this, please let me know that you're getting value out of this. Say, yes, I am. Any learnings, please share it with me. I want to know that I am serving you. Mum, you're not allowed to be a smarty pants. Now, guys, stick around to the end because I am also going to be giving you a free gift when it comes to these limiting beliefs. Okay, I am going to show you how using this tool, and there'll be another little follow-up tool. And so, Starwin, if you could please just post the link to the limiting beliefs tool at the end. You guys will be getting this. It's a little tool that you can print off like a bookmark and you can carry around with yourself to uncover your limiting beliefs and the things that are holding you back. And then if you decide that you would like to work with me, I will show you how you take these little suckers and how you actually flip them and you use them to your advantage to drive you forward. Okay, so ultimate, I'm all about value. I'm just going to read your chats again and then I'm going to get back to it. Lisa says, yes, I am. It's great, Abby. Definitely. Thank you, Melissa. Yes, I am. Thank you, Anita. Look at all these American ladies, Canadian ladies. Absolutely, most certainly am. Fantastic. Jody says, I do this all the time now. It's automatic for me to think intriguing. This is something that Jody and I have been working on during my course. Okay. One thing that Jody's done, Jody's no longer a victim. This is also something that you do when you work with me. And you don't accept other people being victims around you either. And that has been one of the biggest shift and changes that I've seen in that lady. Powerful, powerful. Oh, one new message. It's probably my mum being smartass. Fantastic, Abby. Oh, Mum, I love you. I do love you, Mum. I'm so proud that you are deciding to make a change. And I can't talk about it too much because I'll get very emotional, because you damn well deserve it, just like these other ladies. So then it comes to this. If money, time, and location, now that we've got fear out of the way, now that actually making a choice to live our ultimate life, to do that thing that we really want to do is not scary, to spend that money on date night with our partner isn't scary, okay, to set that boundary with that friend isn't scary, now that scary fear is no longer a problem, if money, time, and location were not an issue, what would you do? Now, some of you that received the emails from my ClickFunnels account would have already done this fantastic, but what I want you guys to do is I'm going to right now give you guys permission to dream, to think about these things, because you've made a commitment that you're no longer going to wait around, make excuses, be lost and scared, lie to yourself and settle for second best. As far as I'm concerned, from what I've seen, you ladies have decided that today is the day that you decide to make a change and start living your true self, your plan A, your big self, the life that you truly deserve. You're going to call bullshit on the automation and the way life just is. So I'm going to give you permission to dream. I'm going to give you permission, like that top dreams and desires in that diagram I gave you, which you've drawn and you will take away, and I will also send out to your emails. Okay? What would you do? If time, money, and location weren't an issue, where would you be? What would you do in the morning? What conversations would you have? What would you eat? What would you do for work? What would be your legacy? What would be your legacy? I really want to stand up for this, but I know my computer isn't set up for it. Because my hard truth number 3, while you're putting that down and you're capturing that on paper, I want you to capture it, because I know damn well that you guys are in the habit still, because you haven't taught yourself to capture and control of thinking these things and then getting rid of them very quickly because you've got obligations, you've got roles. Put them on paper. You are one thought away. You are one thought away from absolute brilliance. You are one thought away from creating a legacy beyond anything you have ever dreamed before. You are one thought away from living the happiest life that you have ever dreamed of. You are one thought away from being a millionaire, a billionaire. But what we do is we fall into this existence where we've got all these rules, all these structures, all these obligations, and we don't allow ourselves to think or have ideas anymore because there's too much shit to get done. And then if we do think of that, our instinctual primal fear comes in, okay? And our devil of doubt pops up within 5 seconds and starts saying things like, don't be silly, that's just the way life is. What if you fail? What are people going to say? What are people going to think? Who does this? I guarantee that you all do. So you actually teach yourself not to think. And if you do have an idea, if you do have a dream, you get rid of it very bloody quickly. Why? Because it makes you uncomfortable, because you don't believe that you're good enough to achieve it. You now know that that's not true. Everything that you hold in your hand was once someone's idea. I said to my ladies on my sexy brand building formula the other day, don't make me pull the I have a dream speech on you. That didn't start with a computer. That biggest social movement in our world to date didn't start with a whole heap of money in the bank. It started with an idea. It started with someone wanting something so badly that they refused to make decisions out of fear and chose to make decisions out of growth, that changed the world. You are one thought away from changing your world, and if you want to, if you then choose to take this newfound power that you've got, you can change other people's worlds. Jackie, Lisa, this is something I've been talking to these ladies about. You can do what Kathy's doing. You can do what I'm doing. You can do what Jody's doing. You are just one thought away. So give yourself permission to dream. What legacy do you want to create? Your legacy can be as significant or as insignificant as you want to make it. Your legacy will live on long after you. And I damn well know that my legacy isn't going to be my kids at my funeral saying, geez, I don't want to live like her. I don't want to be like her. I don't want to be running around after everyone else. I don't want to be pushing my dreams aside. That's not the legacy I want to leave. You guys know my legacy. Okay, you know my legacy. I decided that day in Tennant Creek that I had a dream, right? And this is my biggest why. I decided that I was going to be my daughter's champion. Jackie, I know you've heard this. I decided that day that I was going to be my kids' champion, right? That they weren't going to have to look to other examples of people to have stories of success and happiness. I decided that I was going to be their champion, right? And I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. So your legacy may include your kids. It may be something even greater than that. What is your ultimate legacy? You are one thought away. What is it? Hard truth number 4, dabbling gets you nowhere. Now, I know we're coming towards the end of the masterclass, which is fine. But if you guys were on my live the other night about dabbling and bowling, you know what? I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it again because it's that good. Dabbling gets you nowhere. You are responsible for creating your own life. You hold the pen. And when you come into your own power, when you start to realize that the limiting beliefs that you are holding are not yours at all, and you start giving them back, all of a sudden you hold the pen. You stop waiting and you start creating. You start taking action towards what you want. You start creating and writing your movie with your pen. You start writing the script. You don't allow anyone to write it for you. You don't allow anyone to decide how big or how small your movie, your script, your life is, but you are responsible for creating your own life. No one is going to come in here and do it for you, and dabbling gets you nowhere. Now, I'm going to draw you a really quick diagram. If you have seen this before, please bear with me, but it is super powerful, and I promise it will only take a couple of seconds. Lisa, I love that. Run an orphanage or a kids' house in third world countries and help parents deal with the grief and loss of their kids or children. Lisa, that is a perfect example of yourself having an experience, and I'm going to talk about this later, and choosing to use that experience to create something for themselves. Okay, because it's not about what happens to you, it's about how you choose to experience it, and I'm going to take it one further. And then how you choose to use that experience to drive you forward, what you choose to do with it. Beautiful Lisa lost her gorgeous daughter, Jess. Okay, and much like Charmaine lost her husband, who's one of the sexy brand building formulas clients. And she's now taking that experience. She's grown a set of horns. She lived for years and years through grief and loss and feeling guilty if she laughed. Okay, she's now grown a set of horns and decided that she was worthy enough to feel happy, to feel joy again in her life. She's taking that as her legacy. She's creating that for other people that have experienced loss. This is the kind of power that you guys have when you decide to grab your own pen, right? Are you a dabbler? This is what dabblers do, right? Here's my little diagram. Can you see that there? Fantastic. So maybe you decide that you're going to do something new. You might start a new business. You might make a decision. You might move town, whatever it is, right? And this happens. It all feels really good, doesn't it? It gets really, really, really excited. And I guarantee you that this will probably happen during this masterclass for you. Feels really good. You're learning, you get really excited, and then a challenge comes up. And it starts fizzling out, doesn't it? Because with change comes change. With learning comes change. Dabblers will do this. They'll go back to waiting. They'll fall back into those habits. They'll go back to making excuses. They'll go back to knee-jerking off that fear, and they'll do this. Dabblers will do that their whole life, right? If you want to be a bowler, thank you, Kim Barrett, a certified bowler, if you want to succeed in your life, if you want to create a legacy, if you want more than what you've got now, guess what you've got to do? You've got to stop dabbling. This is what ballers do. Same thing, they start something new, they make a decision, they see something that they want to do, it all feels really, really, really fantastic, and then what happens? There's a challenge, isn't there? It fizzles out. Ballers, they realize that this is a good thing. Okay? They don't let fear drive them. They capture and control their emotions, and they make good long-term decisions for themselves. They do not lie down in challenges. Okay? They get excited about them, and they know that they've got everything in them to get over them, around them, under them. They grow their horns, they put their foot down, and then they go again. Same thing, because with change comes change. And then they go again. These things here, these are your limiting beliefs. These are the challenges. This is when you see a money figure and you go, I can't do that, it's too much. This is when you have a dream and you go, my kids are too little, I can't do that. This is when you have an idea and you go, what is everyone else going to think? It's different. I'm going to have to start again. What's my husband going to say? How's everyone going to perceive me? How am I going to get by? How am I going to survive? Fear, 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 fear. No long-term decisions, right? We don't dabble anymore, ladies. Got it? With Abby, you will find your self-worth. Get rid of your limiting beliefs. Get rid of fear. This one is the one I'm currently working on. You have the self-confidence to move into your true self. And trust me when I say you won't even recognize your true self. As it happens, it becomes the joy of getting to know the new true you. Thank you so much. Oh, I didn't even read the rest of it. Linda, you're there, beautiful lady. Thank you so much, Linda. Linda is another one of my clients. The transformation I've seen in that lady over the past 5 months, reach out to my ladies, guys. They're all on the Abundant Abby page. They're all wonderful women, and they'll be absolutely happy to chat. They're here supporting me, which just proves and validates the worth of this. So thank you so much for being here, ladies. You know that I absolutely appreciate you. All right, I'm going to get back into it really quickly. No more dabbling. Okay, so with that, I thought I'd let you guys know one of the other things that I do. Starwin is also here from it. Okay, I am the mindset maven for the sexy brand building formula. This is where we take women and men, obviously, but there's mainly women. We help women take their truth, take their passion, take their art from their heart, and create a legacy. Okay, create change in their lives and other people's lives, but we also do it in a way where you get up every day, do something that you love, create change in your life, other people's life, while making money. Rhonda, the lady that you can see on the left-hand side of your screen there, this is my brand strategist, my business coach. She is the lady that started this amazing legacy for me, where I decided to do in with my 6-figure job and get up every day and do something that I like. I actually usually don't work before 1 o'clock now because that's time with my kids. That was my decision. I decided that dropping them off, just as my story, at childcare wasn't the way that I wanted them to grow up. It wasn't how I wanted to spend my time with them. Now, thank you very much to the Sexy Brand Building Formula. Rhonda is a 7-figure brand strategist. She helps you to take your brand and your legacy to change the world and turn it into a 7-figure business. Okay, and she has thankfully seen the change that I can provide in women, and has now put me on as the Sexy Brand Building Formula Mindset Maven. There's a number of these ladies here as well. This is the possibilities when you come into your own power. This is the possibilities of what you get when you realize that the old way isn't the way for you anymore. When you decide to do in with the way that life just is, and you decide to make a change, to do away with the 9 to 5, to not settle for that job that you don't want anymore, and actually create something that is truly yours, that makes a difference for you and the world if you want it to, or other people, that you get to wake up every day and do something that you love. I know people talk about it all the time, but I am proof of that, and there's a number of people on here that have come to support me that are also proof in that. So if that is something that you would like to do, you not only get Rhonda, who helps you to build seven-figure brands, okay, and create your legacy to the world. You get me with the mindset coaching, because it's very good and well to create a brand and a business, but if this isn't right, okay, you get Letitia as well, and she is the Women's Success Domination Coach, and beautiful Starwin, who is in here supporting me, being my ring-in VA, my virtual assistant for this evening. She is the tech and marketing tactician and the digital rock star. These are women that I place my credibility in their hands each and every day. These are women that I know, love, and trust. They're some of the most successful women running online brands of the internet, and I have got the utmost respect and love for them. What we create for people and the way that we enable them to take their legacy and their truth and their passion. Kathy is also a part of this, the Bold Warrior movement. and take that to the world while creating an income that they damn well deserve is amazing. And I'm forever grateful to have that opportunity. So back to the 3 things that you need to stop doing right now. I just want to remind you of these things. Waiting, scared, lost, and excuses. Okay. As I said before, this becomes a choice now. Okay, because I'm about to offer you guys something. I'm about to show you something that's the biggest thing that I have ever done, because I am on a mission to change the way that women see themselves, to change the way that they live their lives, to grow a set of horns and give them the skills and strategies that they need to be unapologetically happy, and then if they want to, by creating their own legacy, successful. I have made this my life's mission, and you'll find out a little bit more about why I've done that in a second. But this now becomes a choice. You guys have all decided that you are making a commitment to do out with those old instinctual habits, to do out with those old behaviors, to do away with the way that life just is. Okay, in order to do that, you need to stop doing these 3 things. You need to stop waiting. You need to start creating. You need to choose no longer to be scared and lost, and you need to choose to take responsibility and stop outward pointing and making excuses to validate why you need to stay stuck in this rut. Okay? I've shown you that you have a choice to change your emotional state within an instant. As I said, it's not about what happens to you, it's how you choose to experience it. Are you going to grow a set of horns and take the world head on? And let myself and the other ladies that are here supporting me help you to do that, because we will. All right, and there will be challenges that you will face as I go through this next little thing. It's okay, I've got you back. I've got you. All right. You have a choice now, ladies, if you want to make this the most exciting day of your life. You have a choice to continue waiting if you want to. You have a choice to do that. Or you have a choice to continue being scared and lost. You have a choice to make excuses, and it's not up for me to tell you that that choice is wrong. Okay, but you have a choice to look at these 3 things, waiting, scared, and lost, and excuses, and still relate them to those negative connotations that you would bring into those 3 things, because that's what you've learnt. You have a choice now to see these things as negative and go, oh my God, I've just wasted 40 years of my life doing this, and then fall back into that victim statement, act out of fear, and keep yourself stuck. Or you have a choice to make this the most exciting day of your life, if you choose to. You have a choice right now to stop waiting if you want to, okay? You have a choice to go, oh my God, I've waited for the past 2 or 3 decades. I've waited for all my ducks to line up. I've waited for it to be the right time. I've waited for permission from my partner, for permission from myself. Oh my God, despair, despair, despair. You have a choice to go, that's awesome that I did all that waiting, because now I've got everything that I need to make this choice to move forward. You have a choice to continue to be scared and lost. You have a choice to see that as a mistake, to feel fear, and to keep you stuck if you want to. Or you have a choice, and it is a choice. If there is one thing that you take away from me during this masterclass, it is the fact that you are in control and that you have a choice. You have a choice to go, oh my God, I'm feeling lost. I don't know what legacy I want to create. That's awesome. That's amazing that I'm feeling a little bit scared, that I'm feeling a little bit lost. This means that I'm going to be challenged. This means that I'm going to come out of this a bigger and better person. And I'm making a choice for this to be the most exciting day of my life. You have a choice to continue to make excuses, to keep validating why you're staying stuck because of everything that's happening around you. Or you have a choice to not worry about what it is that's happening to you, but how you take that experience, how you choose to see it, and how you choose to use it for your advantage. You see, you have got everything that you need within you right now to get to where you want to get. We've all been through the storm. We've all been there, right? The difference between people that stop doing this, as I said, is that they choose not to settle any longer. And I was talking to you guys about mums or parents or people that are carers. I'm going to tell you something so hard and so true right now. It is not good enough for you to settle if you are a mum. It is not okay for you to continue to wait, to let fear and feeling lost hinder you, to keep making excuses and using those excuses and validating the things that are happening around you to keep making those excuses. It's not okay. I'll tell you why it's not okay. It's because you have kids. You have little people that you are with every single day, and you are their best representation of not only what I'm getting emotional, not only about what they expect from the world, but what they're going to expect from themselves. They are going to learn from you about the type of person that they are going to be. I have a real instinct, absolute knowing that when my girls come to me and they say, Mum, I have a dream, that I can say, awesome, Ayla, awesome, Indiana, you go out after that dream. Not because I wish I did, not because Oprah Winfrey did, not because Michael Jordan did, but because your mum did. And it was okay. So you have a choice right now to stop settling, to stop waiting, to teach them that it's okay to go out after their dreams, not tell them, but to show them, because that's what you've done. Getting really emotional. You have a choice right now to show them how to not settle for second best, not by telling them a story about other people that didn't settle for second best, but by showing them, because that's what you are doing. You have a choice right now to decide to show them how powerful that they can be, that they can get up every day and enjoy what they want to do, or they can get up every day and have a choice to be happy, or they can get up every day and just feel enthusiastic about life and not look for external validation from other people that they are good enough, because they know themselves that they are good enough. Not because you tell them, but because that is what you are actively living.